The Battle of Songjin was fought in 1641 and 1642 at Songshan and Jinzhou, hence the name of Songjin. Hong Cheng-chu's 130,000 elite troops, sent to break the siege of Jinzhou, were crushed by the 8 banner armies of the Qing dynasty at Songshan. Hong Cheng-chou and a small number of the remaining troops were besieged at Songshan and defeated a few months later. The Jinzhou garrison and the general Zhu Dashao surrendered to the Qing army shortly after the defeat of Ming armies at Songshan. The siege of Jinzhou. Since the time of Yuan Chongwan, the Ming dynasty had rarely changed its Liaodong defensive strategy. Ming leaders largely spent their energies building fortresses, relying on artillery and cannons as defensive measures rather than going on the offensive. For a time this defensive strategy frustrated the Qing army, but eventually Hong Taiji was able to develop a solution for the Qing by reforming their logistical operations, creating supply lines that allowed them to prosecute long-term siege warfare. Zhu Dashao was by then in charge of defense in Jinzhou. Zhu had surrendered to Qing at the Battle of Dailinghe and offered to take Jinzhou. When he succeeded taking Jinzhou, he switched sides again and took control of Jinzhou. In the 6th year of Chongde, Zhigelang ordered his troops to retake Jinzhou and lay siege to the city. Zhu then sent a letter seeking reinforcements from Beijing. In the 4th lunar month, Hong Taiji decided to maintain the siege upon Jinzhou. Hong Cheng-chu's reinforcements. Marshal Hong Cheng-chou was ordered by the Chongzhen Emperor to rescue Zhu Dashao and his army. Under his command, there were 8 area commander-in-chiefs and 130,000 troops, which included Wu Sangua and Cao Bianzhao's troops. In the 10th lunar month, Hong Cheng-chou left Shanhai Pass and summoned 8 generals: Cao Bianzhao, Wang Yanchen, Bai Guang'an, Ma Kei, Wu Sangua, Zhang Guozhu, Wang Pu and Tang Tong. The Ming troops under their control, numbering up to 130,000 infantry, heavily armed with matchlock muskets and 40,000 cavalry, were ordered to liberate Jinzhou. Meanwhile, Zhu Dashao still maintained the defense of Jinzhou and used Songshan, Zishan and Tashan as defensive wings. On the Qing side, generals Kong Yuda, Geng Zhongming and Shang Kexi were ordered to reinforce the troops laying siege to Jinzhou. Hong Cheng-chou positioned his troops on Mount Rufeng, which stands between Songshan and Jinzhou. When the battle first started, the Qing forces did badly. Hong Taiji therefore decided to remain on the defensive, conducting only small-scale attacks on the Ming army's front line. When the enemy became exhausted, he would then release a full-scale attack to achieve victory. The impatient Chongzhen Emperor ordered his marshal to be more aggressive, playing into Hong Taiji's plans. Upon seeing enemies advance, Hong Taiji ordered his troops to set an ambush along the enemy's retreat, while also seizing their logistic supply. His troops then slaughtered every single retreating enemy. Hong Cheng-chou decided to conduct a desperate attack. His subordinates disagreed with his plan. Some argued that they should retreat to Ningyuan and resupply the troops. Wang Pu and Sim generals decided to retreat without orders upon hearing that Hong Taiji himself was leading the army, and were horribly slaughtered by Hong Taiji. Only 50,000 survived the massacre. In Hong Cheng-chu's camp, there were only 10,000 soldiers left, and they were forced to retreat into Songshan. Cao Bianzhao and Wang Yanchen managed to escape the encirclement and united with Hong Cheng-chou. The siege of Songshan thus began. The siege of Songshan. Songshan then suffered the same fate with Jinzhou, with no food supply nor reinforcement. Hong Cheng-chou tried to break the encirclement many times, yet always failed. His desperate subordinate, Jia Chengde, secretly surrendered to Qing and promised to open the city gate. On the 18th day of the 2nd lunar month in the following year, Qing troops finally broke through and captured Hong Cheng-chou along with Zun Fuqiu, Yu Min Yang and some other generals. Huaiyu was then executed by Hong Taiji, along with Cao Bianzhao and Wang Yanchen, while Hong was taken alive to Shengjing. With no hope left, Zhu Dashao was forced to surrender on the third day of the following month. The defense lines in Taishan and Xingshan were crushed in the fourth month, and the Battle of Songjin ended. Aftermath. Hong Taiji regarded Hong Chengchao as an excellent and brilliant general, and tried to persuade him to submit to the king. Hong Chengchao refused, but Fan Wencheng managed to persuade him to do so. Hong Chengchao was then assigned into the Yellow Banner and appointed the military governor of Nanjing during the reign of Shunji. He later managed to persuade numerous southern Ming generals to surrender to the Qing government, and paved the way for the conquest of southern China. Hong Chengchu's surrender was a huge blow to the Ming dynasty after the execution of Yuan Chongwan. There were no other competent generals left to protect the Ming Empire. With the surrender of Wu Sangwa, there was no obstacle left for the Manchus to conquer China proper.